Well, great. So we'll get started. We wanted to keep this a little more informal, especially if you guys are already SonicWall customers. Are you familiar with SonicWall?
We have a SonicWall,
You have
but
SonicWall?
not too familiar with.
Okay.
Okay.
I think one of the
Major one is Palo Alto.
major Palo Alto. Okay. Well, that's great. So I think one of the main things we want to get out, we're gonna keep this fun. We kind of make a little Jeopardy game, give away surprises, but then also try to educate you guys at the same time rather than, unless you want to, I got a different deck I can plug in instead of his, and we go 50 sides deep. I don't think we want to do that. Let's try to, I want to keep this interactive from that standpoint. So, oh, by the way, who's here? So I'm the channel account manager. I work with KISS IT. Tara and Scott are our territory account managers. So when there's opportunities out working with you guys on end users, that's your face. Scott's going to jump in all the time here. He's our technical rep, but then he's also, we have a program that we can work with KISS IT as well from a managed services perspective that we'll talk about. So for those of you that have SonicWalls, what happens like every year, these guys are going to call you up. Hey, you got a renewal coming up, or you can do an upgrade, and it's that constant battle of trying to pay for that 1 year. We also offer a monthly subscription now, so you can take your existing. For those of you that have SonicWalls, just as an FYI, rather than getting that phone call every month, we can do a monthly subscription through your partner, and then it's just a recurring. We can set it up with them where it's ongoing. If you only want to do it for like a year or two, it's from that standpoint. And by the way, as you're looking to expand, that program also has the ability to provide net new upgrades as well. So with that being said, you can get a bare bone box from us. It's a very discounted rate. Same thing, you pay monthly installments for the security services moving forward. So that's my little commercial there. So we're gonna do a little Jeopardy. We'll have some fun. So here's question number one. If you don't raise your hand, I'm gonna pick on somebody, but I do have some little prizes. So SonicWall was once owned by this tech behemoth. I can't even say the word, but hasn't been for 7 years. This is the question I get all the time. You got a question? What's the answer?
That was Dell.
All right. So yes, I did want to make sure we always get that. We always get that question like, "Hey, you guys still owned by Dell?" That was 6 years. I saw Dell's truck out there. I used to be a Dell employee. I used to run partner marketing. So just want to make sure we are privately owned by Francisco Partners. So that's the one thing I just want to clear up from that standpoint. So the great thing about that, though, to be transparent, when I worked with Dell, we were smashing with a bunch of software companies, not a lot of investment. So if you were with us like 7 years ago, you didn't see a lot of technology updates, et cetera. Totally different ball game with a private equity company from an investment standpoint from technology. So next question. Don't worry, I'll let Scott talk on the more technical stuff here. I'm going to do high level. So SonicWall has been in business for how many years? I'm going to pick on this side of the room.
17?
17? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That one's actually wrong. It's 32 years, believe it or not. Okay. So why is that important? So we've been a trusted cybersecurity vendor for 30 plus years. But the more important thing is that you'll see in a second, though, is compared. I'll pick on the Palo Alto hat here. Palo Alto's great. I got a lot of friends that work at Palo Alto. I've never talked negative about a competitor. But being number one in the SMB marketplace, we've got over 1.5 million firewalls deployed across the globe. So think about how much more traffic we're analyzing from that standpoint, doing through our multi-agent sandbox that Scott's going to talk about in a second. So you gave it a good shot. I'm still going to give you a coffee gift card there, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Here's the next question. SonicWall drives this percentage of business through our channel partner. So our great partner here, KISS IT, right? Am I in trouble for calling it was KISS IT? Is that okay?
Just don't call it in front of Jane.
I know. I know she gets mad, but it's easier for me to keep it simple.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Keep it simple, right? Okay. So through partners like Keep It Simple, how much of our business goes through a channel partner? Who wants to answer that question?
100%.
Dude,
Yep.
Easy one, winner, 100%. So we've got over 17,000 partners, but if it wasn't for people such as my friend here in the room, so 100%. So we work with our channel partners constantly. All right, we're gonna start getting a little more deeper. SonicWall, we were just talking about that. I think I may have gave this hint away. Has the number of sensors capturing threats digitally globally. So currently today, how many sensors are out there scanning traffic to protect your industry? Is it 1 million, 3 trillion, 200,000, or only 25,000? Who wants to throw a number out? Million. That's correct, right? So that's what we did want to talk about. Here you go. I got coffee for you, my friend. Boo! Oh, it didn't slide too good.
It's even more than that, because not only do we have this 1.5 million firewalls and endpoints, our endpoint protection feeds information. Our cloud security through Office 365 G Suite feed that in. Our VPN controllers feed in. Every one of our products crowdsources that threat data into
It'll be
our cloud. So all of those sensors, as well as industry, Virus Total, all the industry ones. There's over 60 organizations on top of us. And the fact that we've been collecting that data now for about 25, 27 years, I think we actually have one of the richest malware repositories from an identification point of view. So that's really our secret sauce, as well as our memory management. So we have a lot of technology around actually pulling things out of memory. So no files, something just loads into memory on your system. So that's really where our secret sauce is that crowdsourcing of across all those products, even our access points.
Yeah, I think what's interesting too. So we do our engineering team every year does an annual threat report. We just came out with the mid-year one. There's some just interesting trends, right? If you think about, hey, what's going on? What are we seeing from a malware perspective? Everyone will probably think ransomware comes top of mind, especially here in the Bay Area, right? You hear City of Oakland got hacked, different municipalities from that standpoint. What's interesting though is you see this number, it's actually gone down year over year from ransomware. Not saying ransomware doesn't happen. The biggest state where it happens, guess what? You guys live in it, right? So California from that perspective, so you're still not out of the woods. But what's interesting is this one's a huge one, like cryptojacking. Is everybody familiar with cryptojacking kind of means at a high level? So back in the day, I mean, Scott will talk technical. I'm gonna give the not so smart guy answer on this one. You know how back in the day your computer would start running real slow and you see, you run a little scan, see some stuff on it. What these guys are doing now is they're throwing malware out there, and they in essence want to go mine Bitcoin and different tech, all the Coinbase systems and using your CPU power. So rather than there's businesses that are out there, crypto miners that have all these server rooms, but it's costing some of them like $300,000 a month just to run electricity from that standpoint, right? So instead of paying PG&E that much in the state of California, what if you can go cryptojack and take over someone's computer? Scott, I'll let you kind of touch on that. Any other anecdote that's interesting from an SE perspective that you're seeing in the field?
One of the biggest ones and one of the hardest to find is the encrypted threats, because by default, even your Google searches are HTTPS, right? So the firewalls can actually be that man in the middle and go through. And so it really, there's a lot of visibility that our world has gotten so secure that now how do you see what's going on? How do you see where people are going? How do you see what's passing? And so that's where SonicWall has been one of the leaders here, but that's one of the hardest. IoT, and that's really one of the big leaders. Everybody has smart homes, their Alexas, their digital signs in their business, Coke machines. We just bought a washer and dryer. After 20 years, they have to be Wi-Fi connected, right? How is that secure? What goes through? About 10 years ago, I actually met a gentleman, works actually for ClearPass. He actually retired from malware IoT hacking. 10 years ago, he retired. He had already done a career attacking IoT devices and pulling it down. So that's really, people plug devices in, they don't realize it. And that's really where having something that you can segment out, something that can be pulled apart, so to speak, kept separate. So these are the things that I think we need to call some attention to.
I got a friend that's one of our engineers in Florida. He'd always tell me this story. His next door neighbor is a police officer, right? So the police officer was part of the SWAT team. He thought it'd be cool. He goes up and grabs a drone, takes a picture of my buddy that's an SE, sends it to him. He's like, I can see you, right? So what do you think my system engineer guy does? He goes in, finds the IP address of his neighbor's TV that's got a camera on it. Takes a picture of him sitting on his couch with his own TV and said, I see you as well, like right afterwards, right? So think about, this IoT marketplace, like it's exploding. Everybody's bringing devices to Scott's point from that standpoint. So we actually did it in front of one of our conferences, so it's kind of cool. So, and this is the second half finding. So just the message here is that, from a SonicWall perspective, working with Keep It Simple, like we're all about providing the biggest value add from a security perspective, making sure you and the IT departments are updated on what the current threats are so that you have the knowledge, but honestly, you can walk away and not even have to worry about it. With the devices, especially if those of you are taking advantage of our network security manager, the cloud management, you have the ability to see, hey, what are the top threats that we block that will run into your network? Hey, who's running the most, applications in your network? Like in March, I always get in trouble, right? Is anybody sports fans? What happens in March?
March Madness.
March Madness, right?
Right.
So, with the firewalls, for example, you can control bandwidth. So you prioritize voice traffic, certain going to servers that are very important for the engineers. So I'm streaming CBS Sports at, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I get the lowest priority, but you get the ability to do that. You can see how much Chris's bandwidth is, running from that standpoint. So,
Some people sales guys, huh?
yeah, so I'm still in between halftime with the commercials. So, all right, question number 5. SonicWall holds this number of patents. I wanted to make sure you guys realize there's a lot of development that's going on, especially out when we got rid of that Dell umbrella that we were talking about. Who wants to take a stab? Is it 67, 74, 2, or way more than 300? Anybody?
32 years in business, let's say 6.
You say 67. What was the answer there? Over 300.
Ooh.
Right? But we'll still give you some more cash there. There you go. You're going to be drinking a lot of coffee there.
Yeah.
So I think one of the big thing to take away is this. Although I'm going to let Scott touch on this, right? But this is the secret sauce, right? It's our threat security center using Captured Labs. So Scott, I'll kind of build it out if you want.
Yeah, please.
So I'll get this going.
And this is where we were talking about all of our different products will actually upload into our capture network and then go look. 99% of the time, literally, we've seen it before. That 1% of, billions of attacks, 55 million attacks in 2022, still quite a bit. So we'll actually, if we've seen it before, then bam, it's blocked on the firewall, we'll block it. Endpoint will block it, those kind of things. The other percentage of the time, we're going to come in and take a look at it. So we have our own sandboxing where we're going to go through, we're going to run it a lot of different ways. The whole point, malware likes to hide. So you have to actually force it to expose itself. And that's what our sandboxing and then our memory inspection is probably the best one because it doesn't run like a legacy sandbox, forces it to load. Sometimes it's just valid commands attached to a Word document or a PDF, right? Accounting departments got to open that invoice. HR got to open that resume. That's where they're going to target. They're going to throw those documents at places where they know you're going to open it, right? So coming in, running through, and our email products, which is the #1 avenue, all runs through this, and we'll come through and actually explode it. And then this is where the machine learning, the AI on our side, will actually evaluate what that did, and then block it, decide yes or no. And that's really where you're getting that secret sauce, right? You're getting the 27 years of actual threat data, plus that machine learning AI analysis of those files. And that's really where we keep it. So it's either blocked or it's delivered.
Do you have any metrics showing the time it takes to go through that process?
We might.
Oh, I'm just curious. Yeah, how long?
Yeah, 99% of the time, sub 1 second.
So that's insane, sure, but making decisions.
It depends what it is. If it's a Word doc or something, you'd have to have a tool to measure it. It's that close. Human wise, if it takes 1 more second for you to get an email, does anybody notice?
Right.
If it's a huge zip file or a very elaborate PDF with a lot of different links and dynamic things, it can take around 10 seconds, sometimes a little bit more. A lot of times, especially when customers turn this on, it's the user education of, hey, we turned this on, we're protecting you. If you click to download a file and it takes a second, hang in there because just about the time you pick up the phone and say, hey, this isn't coming down, it comes down, right? So just give it 10 seconds, but that 10 seconds is what's keeping you safe. But you got to set, people are, I want it now, right? We've gotten used to the high bandwidth. How many people heard the modem tones, when they started, right? So that's really.
We're all under 30 here. We talk.
Yeah.
Out of the known threats, what would you say the percentages of false positives, or is that even a thing?
It's not really a thing. And what's interesting is a lot of the positives that we get is like Petra came out and it was a virus and it went through and through email, right? And it grabbed, but it had a component of it that distributed that very well. Someone else will come in and use that to distribute and then put a different payload into it. So we actually pull what we call artifacts, which are kind of the code snippets of those different parts. And so if someone does a variant, and that's usually what we find, it's almost 1,200 variants a day different types of malware where someone takes one part of a package that will actually infiltrate your system, another part of the package that may be new or may not be new to pull something down. And it's a multi-part. So we actually pull in the different snippets of code and the different parts so that when we see something, even if we don't know exactly what that one part is doing because it's new, we see the other two parts are already known bad, we're going to block it bad. And so the false positive, it has to be, fairly on. So we don't have too much of a false positive.
So the false positive is handled by the SonicWall, or requires intervention from me?
No, it'll actually,
It'll analyze it a little further.
it'll analyze it.
Like what you were
And
saying.
in fact, if you're not
Pick up
sure,
the phone, then
yeah, you'll get an alert. If you have alerting on the firewall will say, hey, I blocked a file. The user will actually get a redirect screen saying, hey, we blocked this. So they'll know exactly, that it was blocked. If you're not sure, you can actually log into the firewall UI and grab a file and submit it and run it through the cloud. So if someone sends you an email and you're not sure about the attachment, grab it, submit it into the firewall, and we'll actually tell you, did we find it over here? Or this is called dynamic analysis. Did we actually find it over here? What did it really do? We'll actually tell you what it is, where we found about it. If it's known, we'll actually give you the link, like in VirusTotal, where to go read about it. So we actually have a lot of threat information in there to find, and you can actually manually submit your own documents.
So I came in late, so are you guys just talking about the firewall?
All of our
Are you
products
guys
actually
talking
do
about
this.
Yeah.
The spam filtering and stuff like that?
Yeah, email, the endpoint protection, all that's going to use.
Yeah.
Okay, so from experience, when SonicWall gets something that it's not sure of, it will actually email you, or it will email the end user, and the end user will look at the email and say, yeah, I think that this is good, and they'll click on the link. And it will get emailed to me, and then I'm able to go in at the back door to the SonicWall and look and see if it's a legit, or if it's a phishing, or if there's something else attached to it, before I even release it to the person. And normally, all those that I reject, well, almost all of them are phishing, even though they are coming from somebody that, oh, I know this person, blah, blah, blah. I have to say, sorry, that person's account's been notified. You might want to let them know that they're phishing. They're trying to get your password.
And they're trying to get us
skeptical about it.
Yeah.
I got a text last week from allegedly from my CEO that I know really well. This person number came from some random number. It's like, hey Chris, I need to make sure you get this. Can you go here and blah blah blah, right? Like, can you make sure we schedule this meeting? So just the whole message here is, be chat.
And it's really good of recognizing like something that's coming in with our president's name, but it doesn't have the email address that matches it. It immediately gets flagged of something not known in that context.
I mean, here's some interesting thing. I'll let matter of time, but I think the key one is, to your point, 140,000 files a day we're seeing from a malware standpoint. That's huge, right, guys? So this is why it's so important. So, all right, let's go with some more money. So SonicWall is a firewall company only, nothing more, nothing less. Is your answer what is yes, what is no, what is maybe, or I am wrong perfectly?
No.
What the answer is no. All right. This guy's working hard today. We'll hook you up, right? So let's go. All right. So yes, we got a full end-to-end portfolio. So this is the message I want to make sure, because I'll go talk with partners in industry, or I'll be at shows like, oh, hey, you guys are the SMB firewall company. I go, yeah, we are. We do own 35% of the market share from that standpoint, but we have this whole line of portfolio, and I'm going to show you a screen in a section. But you were just asking, hey, does that capture threat center and RTDMI? Is it only for the firewalls? As you can see, it's going across our entire portfolio of products, right? And so we'll show you in a second, as well as the management. We now offer cloud management in the cloud, and there's some other secret sauce we're going to talk about. But I'll talk at a high level, and then we can just discuss. But where we've always been known for is the TZ series, right? You come over to our booth, you see the little black boxes on it. We've got firewalls as well as wireless firewalls. But then we scale all the way up to the mid-market, as well as high-end service provider firewalls as well. So I know you got the Palo Alto hat on. We compete against Palo Alto and enterprise, right? The thing to be transparent with, where we suck at, we don't have a marketing budget like Palo Alto. We're not a public entity that's doing a ton of money, and that's where we have a weakness from a marketing standpoint.
But just to give you an idea, our largest firewall here is at last guess, so this is an ish number, we were $79,000 less expensive than Palo and twice as fast.
What is the equivalent model?
15, this was the 15K, the NSSP 15700.
The Palo
Oh, for Palo?
3420, something like that.
No, it's higher, 6?
Not 3420.
No, higher than that.
We use 3420.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 3420 was probably closer to the NSA series, the top end of this. As a, for instance, middle of this line, you can do 10 gig throughput protected. So all the security services turned on, pull 10 gig through. The high end of the NSA, you can actually do 20 gig, 10 gig both directions without getting up here and then that ROI is even higher in compared. One of the nice things is on any one of our firewalls, you can run in HA. We only make you license one. We don't make you license both.
That's a huge one.
That's a huge difference in the cost, you know. Palo sometimes will come in, they're a good company, they're very aggressive getting in the door. Wait till the renewals hit, right? And that's where, you know, we're coming in and we've been known to be much friendlier.
Yeah, I think so. That's the firewall. I think the other two that people don't really tend to know is like you go look in your network infrastructure. So we make our own switches now, right? They're not OEM from Dell. These are layer 2. We're future proofing. We've got a whole new roadmap of switches coming out here in 2024 as well. But we carry up to 48 port PoE. So if you've got a bunch of, you know, everyone's in security now, go plug in your cameras, your IP phones, etc. It gets all managed in the same area. We've got wireless access points, right? I'll be transparent. If you looked at us 7 years ago when we were owned by Dell, terrible. The Sonic
Sonic points,
with what they were called. If you have any Sonic points, go look at our Sonic ways right now. Rip those out, right? Just from an FY. Same chipset as Cisco Meraki. If you guys are using that. The two key things to keep in mind for the switches and the wireless, where we tend to win with our partners, is the standpoint inventory. We've never had a challenge of trying to get parts or supplies. So if you're in need, you're refreshing, take a look at us. We've discounted our pricing for our partners 35% across the board for switch. So if you guys are in the need for new switches, upgrading switches, you got that renewal coming up for a Cisco, HP, Dell, whatever it may be, reach out to our partner here. I guarantee the cost saving will be significant for a brand new switch and/or access points.
yeah.
So yeah, I think we do have virtual firewalls. We talked about the endpoint security, partnering with SentinelOne that Scott was saying. Remember, so the great thing about the endpoint client is, and we do offer all these in a monthly service as well. So if you guys are having challenges from a budget standpoint, that annual renewal cycle, or you want to upgrade, you can take advantage of. We sell bare bone boxes on these firewalls that you can go purchase through KIS and then be able to turn a monthly subscription on. So it's easier to adjust from a budgetary standpoint from that area. The last one I'll touch on, we're going to show a screen here, the management, right? Can we make your life easy as an IT manager to be able to see what's going on in your network? And I think I've got, so we've got a screenshot of it here. You log into my SonicWall, get one view. Scott touched on it, but this one's dark grayed out because that client has to have capture client turned on. So once you activate those, they'll be turned on. So
Yeah, and ultimately, this will actually end up being one big screen as well. But you have your firewalls, your wireless and switching, your endpoint, email. You know, it's one stop for you to be able to roll through. You have different sites. You can even create multiple accounts and actually do have different sites if you have different admin teams. So from an enterprise point of view, we're pretty flexible. You know, our VPN concentrator, you can get some remote reporting on what's going on, who's logging in, you know, those kind of things. But and hosted email, just to throw it out there, just because it's here. If you have an older email system or you still have on-site exchange or you have some third-party email solution, we do actually have a solution for that. But we scan all the URLs, we scan all those attachments. Our Cloud App Security actually runs in line with Microsoft, which means the only security or the only bad things we see are everything that Microsoft missed, which right now is about 1 out of every 10 emails. So we did a test of about 500,000 emails across 23 different clients, different industries. We ended up getting about 59,000 emails that were all phishing, malicious emails that Microsoft's Capture ATP, all of their security services missed.
yeah.
So.
And I'll don't you're recording this, aren't you? So we did get to see a little future product roadmap that's coming out. So I'd be in trouble if I didn't talk about AI, right? We want to make your life easier. We're gonna come out with an AI agent on the screen. I think it's called SonicWall. Don't quote me on the camera right there. But hey, this is where you guys are going to be able to, instead of just clicking in and drilling down reports, you're going to be able to ask the AI engine, hey, for something simple, hey, go show me the top 5 biggest threats that are coming through my network, or go show me my top 10 power users or my troublemakers from who's downloading those phishing attempts or fire. And you can have conversations with them, so you can be an advocate for your HR compliance team, et cetera, from that standpoint. So we're trying to we will be giving you guys more powerful tools to make your lives easier from that standpoint as well. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, how many people have to upgrade the software on more than one firewall? Anybody?
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, the network security manager will actually allow you to do multiple upgrades one time. So, maintenance windows, when everyone's up between midnight and 4 a.m. upgrading firewalls, right? So
Or
why not work smarter and upgrade them all?
Or like in your case, right? He's got like multiple locations for all the, let's say, all the different gas stations, right? It's costs money for you to go roll a truck out to somebody to go implement a firewall, right? You can configure everything in the cloud. You can have your firewall, the switch, the wireless access point, go ship it out. We do this with all like California Skin Institute around here, different retail locations, Subway, franchise, etc. You go ship it to them. It's already configured. As soon as they plug that Ethernet cable right into the box, boom, lights up. You guys see it on the back end in your cloud management, and you're good to go. So that way, it makes your life, from a cost-effective standpoint, much easier. You don't have to deploy an engineer on site for every single installation or upgrade.
Right. Schedule changes. You want to make a change to a firewall. Most engineers work brighter during the day. At night, not quite so much. That's when silly stuff happens. Schedule it. Do the work during the day and schedule it to happen when your maintenance window is. So again, work smarter, and try to help out. Then you just have to do a trust but verify.
Sounds like the SonicWall firewall upgrades are a lot seamless now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually pick, you can group by all the different models and then and go through. But
Yeah, we got 2 slides, and one of them I'm going to show you. You just played right into my last question. Well, there's one more question. I know we got 3 minutes. Keep you sensitive. Going to lunch. So, SonicWall Cloud app that Scott was just talking about will stop what type of threats? Phishing emails, malicious attachments. What is the click time protection, or all the above? What do you guys think? All the above. There we go. Yeah. So go ahead, Scott.
Yep, actually, and here's that 500,000 emails, right? So EOP came in, blocked about 48% of the emails coming through, but the targeted phishing actually was 11%, my apologies. But approximately 59,000 emails made it through all of Microsoft to roll through. Our product will come in, we look at domains. How long has that domain been around? It's always common, they'll change one character in there, right? Those kind of things. So we have a lot of different controls in there to run through. But what's nice is if I wanted to attack you, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go to MX Toolbox, I'm going to type in your domain, and I'm going to see who you have. It'll pop up, Proofpoint, Mimecast, those things. SonicWall, because we're in line with Microsoft, nobody can see us. So we just come up Microsoft. They don't know that we're there. And we actually, not only do we block emails coming in and out, we actually block emails side to side. So most of the products out there will only see emails if they come in. What if one of your employees grabs something infected and tries to email off to everyone, or they pull something down malicious that tries to do that? Our product will come in and actually get into the middle of that structure. And so that's where we catch a lot of these attacks. If there's any questions on that, I know that's a lot, but.
And coming up to the last one, then you guys can go.
That'll jump in.
So for the next 90 days, or through December 31st, SonicWall is making your conversion to a next gen 7 firewall easy, right? You teed my question up right here. And the answers are by creating new blogs to show you the way, or it could be, what is the launch of a security silver bullet, or hey, what is a major promotion that you can offer through Keep It Simple today, 3 and free. And what we mean by that, just to put a little explanation, is whether you're an install base, or if you want to rip out your Palo Alto over there, if you buy 3 years of security service through our partner, you get the hardware for free. You guys all hear the commercials about, the phone trade-ins for iPhones, very similar, or what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Clearly, it's C.
Clearly, it's C. Ultimate
He's giving that slide. He's the only-
So I wanted to wrap it up on what's a takeaway in terms of maximizing your IT budget. So whether it's a SonicWall installed base, and you want to upgrade Gen 6 over to Gen 7, right? See, I hit it right on the last slide. Perfect. Or if you have a competitive displacement, guys, this is all eligible from that standpoint.
Mhm.
We make it super easy with this program. You would take, if you have an existing SonicWall, you put in your serial number with your Gen 6, Gen 6.5. You drop in the new serial number here. We're going to take all your configurations in the cloud, move it over. I'm making it sound super easy, but that in essence is what we're going to do from that standpoint, all within my SonicWall.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we'll help you configure the Palo Alto when you're ready. That's when I bring guys like Scott out to do that from that standpoint. But yes.
Yeah, keep it simple.
So there's an easy migration path from Palo Alto to SonicWall?
Yeah.
You just did one?
Yeah, through,
Yeah.
either KISS has some great engineers, or we actually have a service as well, and we'll actually export it out and pull it in command line, so give you a chance to evaluate it, make sure there's no old configs in there, but yes, we'll absolutely walk through and do a white glove migration for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's all statement of work based. You tell us what has to happen, what are the keys, and it's flat fee until it's done.
Great. All right. I think they have a keynote session for you guys. If you guys have questions, we have a booth. They kind of hit us in the corner, but I'll be standing over there. So, all right. Everybody good?
Yeah, you guys can't miss me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank
Stand
you.
over.
Hopefully you got a little bit of entertainment instead of just getting PowerPoint.
Yeah,
All right, guys. Have a good one.